how are you all? I hope you're doing well. You are going to notice a theme in both of my videos today, and that theme is entertainment. And the reason for that is I'm very, very passionate about entertainment. I love entertainment. I saw these two stories pop up, wanted to talk about them. And you all know I have a performance background. I have an acting background. I've done stage performance. I've done instruments. I've done all kinds of stuff. And more specifically, I love comedy. I went to the Groundlings, which is a school that a lot of people that are on SNL come from. I was in an improv group. I went to clown school. I studied physical comedy. I've done stand-up. So I love comedy, and I think that when it's done properly, it can be such an incredible medium to make people laugh, to give people joy, to tell stories, to alleviate some of the stress of everyday life. And what better time to alleviate the stress of everyday life than it is right now? And you know, SNL could be that thing, but they just choose not to. SNL, as it always does, aired on Saturday night this past weekend, and their opening day made fun of Candace Owens, who we all know, a Republican commentator. And it wasn't the fact that they made fun of Candace Owens, it was how they did it. Link to this sketch below if you want to see it. And then I'm going to give you Candace's reaction and my thoughts on the whole thing. Taking this from the Daily Wire. So it said the skit framed Republicans as ists, you know, the R word, and unfeeling, and mocked Owens for being black and having views SNL apparently believes are unacceptable for a person of her skin color to have. Candace Owens responded to this, and you know she goes hard, and she said, "Hey, SNL, not sure who this woman you have playing me is, but I'm much better looking than this. Next time, just reach out and I'll play myself. That way the skit will actually be funny and Americans might tune into the show again. Hashtag Saturday Night Live." And I must say that I totally agree. They clearly have a political bias. They don't treat both sides equally. And when they play a Republican character, whether it's Donald Trump or Candace Owens or Laura Ingraham, which was in the skit as well, they do it with contempt. And they're not making fun of truths. They're making fun of a caricature that was created by media outlets to demonize Republicans. It's a false stereotype that Republicans are ists and they're unfeeling. I think the person who said it best was the late, great Norm Macdonald. During an interview he was giving, they were discussing comedy in the era of Trump, and he said that during this era, it made it really easy for bad comedians and really hard for good comedians. All a bad comedian had to do was say, "I don't like Trump," or "Trump is dumb," and then all of a sudden that person was a celebrated and good person. Whereas good comedians would try really hard to stay away from Trump. And there's a difference between clapter and laughter. And the "I don't like Trump," "Trump stupid," "Orange man bad," all those people, they would get clapter, not really laughter. The interviewer went even further and actually asked Norm Macdonald what he thought of Alec Baldwin's portrayal of Donald Trump on SNL. And first, Norm went on to compare Daryl Hammond to Alec Baldwin. Daryl Hammond originally played Donald Trump on SNL, and Norm said that he much preferred Daryl Hammond's portrayal of Donald Trump because it came from a much softer place. And then he went on to say this: the thing is, if you do an impersonation of someone, you have to like the person because you're playing the person and people like themselves. So you can't play someone and have contempt for them at the same time. It doesn't work. I don't like the impression. And I have no political affiliation. I just mean that on a comedy level. That's the issue when they make fun of Republicans. It's not that they're making fun of them. Trust me, there is a lot to make fun of Republicans for. It's the fact that they're doing it from a place of contempt, a place of virtue, a place of sort of trying to push a narrative. And it's not equal opportunity for Democrats and Republicans. And also, there is so much material in the White House right now, and they just refuse to go hard on the Democrats the way they do Republicans. And I will admit, I watched that whole skit. It was about 8 minutes, and there were a few parts where I chuckled a little bit, but the overall feeling from the whole thing was just bad. And once in a while, SNL will put out a skit that I think is funny and it'll make me laugh, but the show as a whole, the overall feeling when I finish watching that show or when I walk away is bad. And if you're entertaining, someone should feel better after seeing your show, especially if it's a comedy show. And I'm gonna leave you with the clown's prayer. And it's sad because SNL is prioritizing the things that comedy shouldn't be. And here's the clown's prayer. If you followed me for a while, you've already heard this, but this is the heart of what comedy should be and why it's important and why we should protect it. Yes, I did go to clown school. I think I said that at the very beginning of this. And it is, As I stumble through this life, help me to create more laughter than tears, dispense more happiness than gloom, spread more cheer than despair. Never let me become so indifferent that I will fail to see the wonder in the eyes of a child or the twinkle in the eyes of the aged. Never let me forget that my total effort is to cheer people, make them happy, and forget at least momentarily all the unpleasantness in their lives. And in my final moments, may I hear you whisper, when you made my people smile, you made me smile. And that is at the heart of what I think comedy should be and what I think SNL should be. But I digress. All right, see you later. I hope you have a wonderful day, and bye.